We'll call this March 21st, 2022, meeting of the Lancaster Selectmen to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah, and the tradition of the Lancaster Board is the selectman that will be re-elected in the coming year is usually voted in as the chairman. So I will make a motion that Shane Beatty be appointed or voted in as the chairman of the board.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 It's done.
Done.
You're it. No backing out now.
All right, tonight, first thing is department head updates as usual. We'll go with both Eli and Ted are not able to be here, so we'll start with Chief Charbonneau.
So we have an extra employee, David Walker. He was sworn in the other day. He'll go to the June Academy. Robert Sullivan, which is in the academy, will be out in June, so it's kind of a one-for-one swap. So hopefully by the end of summer, we'll have everybody on the street like we need. Business as usual. Accidents seems to be happening more and more and more. If we don't cover 2 or 3 or 4 a weekend, we don't cover any. So it's been very busy for us. Again, business as usual. That's all I have.
Chief Flynn.
That would be me.
Ted, write your notes.
Yes, Ted did write my notes. As far as 911 calls for the month of February, we did 56. Transfers, we did 116 calls. And fire calls, about a half a dozen. As Tim says, we've had a lot of accidents lately that we've been dealing with. But we've also retained a couple of newer people that have joined the ambulance service, so that's a good thing. We've got a couple in class, which is also good. And our fire trucks are being maintained. The gentleman came up from Vermont to do the pump testing and stuff like that, so very minimal issues, which is good for us. So. And that's pretty much it.
Thanks, Chief. Barbara?
Things are pretty much the same at the library. The library trustees are waiting figures on the change out of our lights to LEDs. We did spend time speaking with Kate Hartnett about the 4 exterior lights, and she was sharing with us the special kind of dark night lighting that is available in some places to minimize light pollution. They're taking that under advisement, but for right now, the trustees are looking at getting the figures and getting our lights changed out.
Is that lighting mostly interior though?
What we asked for from the capital reserve was for interior lighting. They're, the 4 that Kate was talking was about are 4 pole lights that are outside, and they were not part of our original plan to upgrade. I think the bulbs in those fixtures are already LEDs, I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? You guys are all set? Thank you. Well, Brian's here for something else. He gets the first meeting of the month, not the second.
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah.
But he's doubling up, so he's twice as special as you are, Ted.
That goes with
You special.
He works at the dump. Oh, that's right, yeah. Get it right.
So we've got, we have 2 sets of minutes for you guys to approve, because at the last meeting, I believe one of you, was it Troy wasn't here at the last meeting? So, yeah. So we have the minutes of February 22nd and the minutes of March 7th. So because there was some of you weren't here for
Yeah,
it
some.
was
and-
22nd, that was
February
7th.
22nd, I wasn't here, so
So we'll approve,
Shane and Troy needs to
approve that one separately.
Right.
All right. So, somebody wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve February 22nd minutes.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So you wanna sign it?
Yep.
Now, March 7th.
You're gonna make that
There you
motion.
are. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes of what, March 7th?
March 7th.
March
I'll make
7th?
that motion to accept the March 7th minutes.
All in favor?
You gonna second it?
Oh, I'll second it, yes.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
You don't sign this one.
No,
All right, we have a few,
we can still stack it all up down here.
You want to second?
You want to stack them there?
Yep.
few bits of paperwork for you to sign. The MS 232, which is the appropriation of actual money voted at town meeting. The next thing is a timber tax warrant for Gaynor Connect, Sally Gaynor and Nancy Gaynor. Tax yield of $7,336.08. There's two places for you guys to sign.
Sorry.
Next thing on the agenda is, I guess, to confirm what each of your board assignments are gonna be, committee board assignments. I know last year Shane was the selectman's rep to the budget committee, Troy was the conservation commission, and Leon was the planning board with Troy as your alternate. So I don't know if that's where you are gonna end up for 2022. You should make that.
I think the tradition is Shane being the chairman would get his first choice of what he would want to
Well,
do.
thank you. I guess I'd stay on the budget if one of you guys wanted to.
So, I'll make the motion that Shane continue to be the selectman's representative on the budget committee.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Just giving you time enough to think about it.
It's okay. I'm good.
So now we have conservation commission.
Make a motion that Troy continue to be the selectman's representative on the conservation commission.
Any discussion?
You gotta second it.
You get a
Oh, second, I'll second it. I'm gonna get good at this after a while.
Any
You'll
discussion?
get it.
You get 25 more meetings.
Yeah.
No,
Any discussion?
no.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion for Leon to be the planning board,
And do you want to include the alternate?
and I'll still do the alternate.
Any discussion?
Needs to be a second.
Oh, sure.
You need to second it.
I'll second it. Any discussion now?
I'm good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, very good. So the assignments stay the same. We don't have to change any mailing labels. Perfect.
No.
Thank you. That's efficiency. Next thing is appointment to North Country Council's Transportation Advisory Committee. Robin Irving, the land use coordinator, would serve that role. They basically, North Country Council has a committee that deals with transportation-related issues. They meet, I think, every other month. I previously was that person. She would be the main, I guess, the main committee member, and I would be her backup alternate.
Make a motion to have Robin Irving be the North Country Council Transportation Advisory Committee representative for the town of Lancaster.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
And you should, I think, North Country Council would want, have you vote me as the alternate, just so it's official in case I have to cover for her.
Make a motion to have Ben as the alternate to that position.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Now we have appointments to the Conservation Commission. Nancy Southworth and Sam Main were recommended, and Chairman, Conservation Commission chairperson Rachel Stewart is here, but they were voted at the Conservation Commission to recommend them for reappointment to the commission. They had served for the past, basically, not the full year, but for most of last year.
And I can tell you, they've done a very heavy lift on the Conservation Commission. Sam's very good, and both of them, they've done a really good job, bringing that back to what the Conservation Commission should be. So they did a really good job.
Thank
And I make a motion to reappoint them.
I will second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Next is appointments to the zoning board. Recommended by the zoning board, alternate members Don Fredette, Nathan Kennison, and Chris McVetti, and regular member would be Linda Ogle.
They've all currently been serving.
Yes, the only difference is Chris McVetti, they recommended Chris McVetti step down to an alternate because he's had some issues with work showing up. He's thinking that that's been corrected because, not corrected, but as far as work goes, it's adjusted so he can show up more often, but they felt it prudent to make sure that's the case, so he's dropped down to be an alternate. And Linda Ogle had stepped up, who usually doesn't miss a meeting.
Make a motion to appoint Donald Fredette, Nathan Kennison, and Chris McVetti, alternate members of the zoning board, and Linda Ogle as a regular member.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And also, just for your information, there will be an ad in the paper in the Democrat Wednesday seeking letters of interest for the Budget Committee, basically Rick Bernier's position, which only has till next year. And then there are also a couple of alternate positions on the planning board available, so there's an ad in the paper for that as well, to fill those vacancies.
Okay.
And then, the next thing we have is, and that's why Brian is here, is the pre-crusher bid review and approval. Brian received 4 bids for the pre-crusher. That was a warrant article at town meeting. Two of the bids came from the same company, but different units. And there are copies of that information in your packets. And Brian is happy to kind of give you a rundown on all that.
Yeah, definitely. So we got 4 bids, which I think have been very helpful. Just a quick rundown of them. Atlantic, the one from Atlantic is the one we installed in Littleton. a few years back, it's been running good. The one from McGuire is the same company that we bought our trash compactor from, and those last forever, so they're made well. The other one, which is Recycling Mechanical, which has two bids, one for a new one for a rebuilt one.
Which company was the rebuild?
Recycling Mechanical of New England.
Okay.
And he treats us very well. We've got the last few balers from him. We bought the auger from him. When he couldn't fix the auger, he didn't even charge us anything. There is an option for, if we do buy one from Recycling Mechanical, he will rent us the used one he has until the new one comes in, which is about 16 weeks. And the rental is, he'll waive the monthly rental fee, and it'll just be an $850 install fee, which is really cheap. That's about 3 cans worth, and we'll definitely save that. So I do recommend the pre-built one, as it is about $17,000 cheaper than the next closest bid.
So Recycling Mechanical you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause I'm looking at, I just look at the bottom line, I'm like,
That's the 42,175.
that's what I'm looking at.
Correct, Brian?
Yes.
That's
Yep.
what I'm looking at.
Is
I
there,
know stuff about this stuff.
is there a warranty on?
They're all the same, warranty a year, 1 to 2 years, that's about it. The thing is with those is, no matter which one you get, is if something doesn't break right away, it doesn't break, usually. Besides the typical hydraulic hoses and fittings and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's always gonna be maintenance.
Exactly, yes.
Brian, you said the only difference between the two, recycling mechanical is the refurb is the insides, the mechanical parts, that's all brand new. It's the outside that is the kind of rehabbed
Correct,
to turn
yes.
into a pre-crusher.
Yeah, my understanding is what it was is they bought back a lot of regular compactor, like trash compactor equipment from a big box store, and then they just refurbished all of them to pre-crushers. So the rebuilt one has new motor, new piston, all that stuff, so, yeah.
What kind of life are they looking to get out of this?
I believe they last 15 to 20 years. I know on the used market, you never see them available because they last so long. By the time people get rid of them, they are absolute junk. So, nice thing about it is, besides the hydraulic lines and maybe having to reseal the piston and stuff like that, I mean, there's,
Regular general maintenance.
yeah, I mean, there's not much to it. So, I figure, well, with the rebuilt one, if we do go with that one, it'll be less, but I figure between a 4 and a 6 year payback.
Okay. You guys got any?
The other one, you're the expert. I'm looking at you.
I just haul them.
I know, you're the other one that breaks them, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, what we throw in it breaks them, but
That's right, yeah.
with the recommendation of the man that manages it, I will move to accept the Recycling Mechanical of New England bid of $42,175 for a pre-crush.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Or we beat it to death?
No,
Okay.
I don't, I'm talking Greek to me, this isn't my forte.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
All right. Moving on to information, a few things in your packet. We have a DES temporary permit notification for Amanuset Asphalt. That's the It was approved by the planning board, an asphalt mixing plant up in Bethilier's pit, so they got a temporary permit issued in
So
March,
D-
the beginning of the month.
So DES is all signed off on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also in your packet is a letter from the school district, basically informing you of the decision of the voters concerning Carol's withdrawal from the district. They failed. They do want to form a subcommittee. I'll read the letter to you. It says, as you know, in the spring of 2021, the Carroll Withdrawal Feasibility Study Committee underwent a comprehensive study addressing the withdrawal of the town of Carroll from White Mountain Regional School District. Soon thereafter, a minority report was crafted and submitted to the New Hampshire Department of Education Board. Given this, warrant Article 17 was placed on the ballot for the March 8th vote. The vote failed overall, but the majority in Carroll was in favor. The White Mountain Regional School District Board would like to form a subcommittee comprised of one select board member from each town, or a number that does not constitute a quorum. So if there were 5 of you, they would take 2. Since there's 3 of you, they would just take 1. I think all the towns in the district pretty much have 3 members. One White Mountain Regional School District Board member or a number that does not constitute a quorum, and ad hoc members including the superintendent and business manager. The town of Carroll has requested that we explore the apportionment formula that was established in 1963. Given that this issue would have an impact on all the towns, the board felt it would be appropriate to open this discussion with the town's leaders. Given that Lancaster, Dalton, Whitefield, and Jefferson have select board meetings on Monday evenings and Carroll on Tuesdays, we would like to recommend Thursday, April 21st, 2022 at 6 p.m. at White Mountain Regional High School to meet to discuss the creation of a subcommittee and a brief history of the studies and the apportionment formula. From there, we can decide if we would like to continue forward. Then it just says who to contact. So basically, you guys have to choose somebody.
My whole question is, again, we've been around and around, there was a committee formed, come up, and the fact is, and everyone in the district should be aware of, the fact is, a homeowner in Carroll pays no more in property taxes than a homeowner anywhere else in the district. If we go forward with this subcommittee and for some reason Carroll does leave our school district, or we change the reapportionment figure, that means the homeowners in every other town is gonna pay more than the homeowners in Carroll. So, while I don't completely oppose it, why are we playing the charade? Because that's what it is, it's a charade.
So I sat on this last year and gave all the information. I did a lot of research through, and what happened the first time was 2004 when they tried this.
Yeah.
And went through the whole thing. And when I was done explaining this at the meeting, even the school board member appointed to the committee, Carol, voted with us.
Yeah.
We only had one dissenting vote, and that was Rob, who filed this again, Rob Gauthier. But other than that, and we also sent, so people know, we sent a letter out to every school, every parent that has kids in the school district. We're only got 38 from Carroll. Those parents unanimously wanted to stay in the state. And when they voted on election day, they did the same thing. These people that are part-time people there for the most part, they just see this weird number because what they do is the way the state does it, it's not our fault. It's the way the state does taxing on properties. And when you have these multi-million-dollar properties over there, then it makes it look like that $60,000 number. Right. But the homeowners are paying less in Carroll than we're paying in Lancaster. Right. And the ones that are sending their kids to the schools, they're paying less than us.
Basically,
we're beating a dead horse here.
Well, so they're asking homeowners in the other towns to subsidize the very lucrative businesses in Carroll that have very high property values. So I'm kind of like, do we continue to play the charade and think that there is a solution that they're going to be happy with? They're not going to be happy with a solution. And maybe it's just best right now to say, listen, there isn't a solution. What you want is not favorable to any other town in the district.
So do you want to appoint a member to go to the subcommittee and say that, or do you want to have me send them a letter saying that the Board of Selectmen of the town of Lancaster does not wish to participate in this?
And, well, not to throw him under the bus, but I know Troy has done a lot of research and stuff, and he's represented the board. And I think he'll continue to represent the fact that this just isn't, it's only favorable to big businesses in Carroll.
And we actually looked at appointment numbers on this committee, just so people know. We did look at going to 70 or whatever. And the impact on our taxpayers in Lancaster was tremendous.
Right.
And it makes no sense. It's beating a dead horse, as Leon says.
So do you
I mean-
want to be on this subcommittee and present
I'll
that
show up
message
and
in
I'm gonna-
person, or do you
I'll
want
go
me to
and-
write a letter saying that you do not
I
wish
can
to
just go and say the
participate?
same thing all over again, but it's just like beating a dead horse.
I will, at that, I'll make a motion to appoint Troy to represent the town of Lancaster at this subcommittee, but also to represent the fact that Lancaster thinks this is beating a dead horse.
That's fine. I don't disagree.
And I'll second that.
I had all my paperwork before I went in there. I met with the assessors and everything on this thing, and I was ready for this thing. And I was amazed how quick the whole committee made a decision on this. But they have their right to keep fighting it, you know. But I can't see it going anywhere. I just can't.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
You're
So-
going,
Congratulations, Troy.
I will let them know that you will be in attendance, Troy, on April 21st, 2022 at 6 p.m. at the high school.
That's a Tuesday night?
It's a Thursday.
Thursday, the 21st.
All right.
All right, you gotta remind me on that one again.
Just your notice of the zoning board meeting on March 30th in your packet. Land use permit for Jeffrey Bro of 27 Kilkenny Street to construct a 14 by 26 foot stick-built addition on concrete foundation. Extend building for another bedroom and replace a current porch. Meets all the setbacks in the residential district. And then a sign permit for the Lions Club on the old information booth. And then I did have a couple other things for your information. One thing you guys probably know about already, but the Kent Fountain last night was hit and broken up into a bunch of pieces. I just want to give you an update on that. So we did file a claim with the insurance company, our insurance company, Primex. Haven't gotten any notification as far as the driver's information. Sadly, that that driver had passed away. Haven't heard anything from the insurance company. Barry Normando did reach out to me first thing this morning and said he'd love to take a look at it and just give me his evaluation and some guidance on best routes to preserve the pieces so they can potentially be put back together. So we're gonna hopefully, when I know, we haven't moved anything yet. I don't think, Chief, is it okay as far as you're concerned, law enforcement, to move that?
As long as the insurance company's.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so-
and that's my take, yes, we're done with
You're
the
done,
scene,
right.
so as long as the insurance company is okay with it, yes.
And that's why I was waiting to hear from the insurance company. I hadn't heard anything from them by 3:30 when the highway guys left.
I have a claim number, but
Yeah.
I haven't gotten a claim
The,
number yet.
Was it a
So,
local person?
I don't know.
I would be hesitant to move anything until the insurance
Right.
company does get back to us.
Right, so and that's why we haven't, so until I hear from them, I'll reach out to them tomorrow just to make sure if I haven't heard from them.
My layperson looking at that, I don't see how that's being reconstructed, and Barry might be the best avenue of getting an estimate on trying to rebuild it
Right.
with new granite, because that's,
Barry did think there might be some pieces that could be, because how it broke, it looks like, and he was talking, I don't know, he was talking languages that I don't understand, but he certainly does. But it looked like some of the places where it broke along seams that it should have broken on. So at least the tub of it, the arch itself was pretty much broken in half, and that wasn't in an area that it should have broken. So he said it could, he thinks it could, parts of it could be, he said reconstituted, whatever that means. I didn't get a chance to Google it yet. But what he had recommended when we move it, don't put steel on granite, it'll scar it. He said he would have a couple of his guys come down to assist our highway guys and bring his slings that they use to move granite blocks and tombstones and stuff, and we'll store it at the sand pit on he said on pallets, and then in a couple weeks he has a guy coming up for some other job, and he would have him take a look at it and see what he might be able to do. My hope is that we can at least get it put back together and put back on site. Whether it holds water again or not, I don't know, but I'd hate to not have that fountain there.
I'd hate to deprive future high school kids of putting the suds in.
Yeah.
Seriously, we talked about that story.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I just want to let you guys know that that's the status we're at now. So it basically is still there only because I haven't heard from the insurance company. And, I mean, to
I guess
both
the-
chiefs' points, we want to make sure that that's preserved for that point.
The other question is, and it's probably long gone, because years ago it was hit and knocked the statue that was on top of it off.
Yeah,
Right, so, yeah, there was and Randy, you said it was an eagle.
I think so.
Yeah, so the original, and I
That's
did a little
don't
research.
think, I think it's actually like a Minuteman or something.
Well,
was it?
the original, yeah, but that was knocked down a long time
Yes.
ago. Like, because it was knocked down by a horse-drawn carriage. So it was before your time a little bit, Leo.
Yes, just a little bit.
Yeah, maybe Alan might have been driving that one, but, yeah, maybe, Alan Carr. So, yeah.
This is actually probably the third time that's been hit, because there was another time it got knocked off the foundation.
About
and
20,
had to be
yeah,
replumbed.
and Barry said he had worked on fixing that it was about 25 years ago, he
Yep.
said, and I do vaguely remember that.
It's a
So,
rough
yeah,
spot.
huh?
It's a rough spot.
Yeah. So,
Mailbox took out
like I
the-
said, I mean, going, I'm assuming you guys share my sentiment that you would like to see that put back together. Obviously, that's the movement I'm going for right now, and unless anything changes.
If it can be or replaced,
Right.
which is gonna be extremely expensive, but
Right.
it's a landmark in town and it's a fixture on Main Street.
It was, did I?
1892, I believe it was.
December 1st, 1892, by the sons of Richard P. Kent, and it was given to the town on the condition that the town maintains it. Not that we didn't maintain it, but we should, that's, I think, just that statement makes it so we should do our best to put it back together and for the benefit of the town. A couple other things concerning town meeting. One of them, I know you guys probably noticed that there were some of the special warrant articles that were requested at town meeting didn't have any representative for those organizations present to represent the request. Some of them they usually don't have anybody, but some of the ones they usually do. So I was surprised. I did speak to a couple of them. They did indicate that it was a complete misunderstanding or lapse on their part that they didn't have anybody there. I did mention to them my thoughts. I want to run it by you. I feel that, but we would notify, and I'm not sure when we do it, if we do it prior to getting their warrant articles, but anybody should be notified that it's recommended that you attend the public budget hearing, and it's required you attend town meeting. And if you don't attend town meeting, then that next year, if you want to seek a warrant article for funding, it's gonna have to be by petition, and it won't be automatically put in by the select board. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that
I agree
before
totally.
I
agree
before I
totally.
laid the hammer down on somebody and had you guys say, no, Ben, you're being too harsh.
And we've gone back and forth on having them petition the warrant articles, not petition the warrant articles. At the very least, if they don't show up to support their warrant article, I think the next year, okay, get your 25 signatures. It's not that difficult.
No. So, okay, so I'll work with Charity on the best timing for that. I know some of the organizations have already sought their money. Doesn't mean it's not too late to send them a letter, but I might wait until when we're getting close to when those warrant articles are ready to be
When they-
submitted.
We can probably send something out the first.
Do
of
they
the year,
send a
tell them the
request
deadline
in?
is.
Then, do they send a request in every year before town meeting? Or
So yeah, typically how it goes is they send in a request and say, like my wife's organization, White Mountain Mental Health Norman Human Services is seeking, I think it's usually $5,921 to fund their. So it's a letter request.
We still
I
use the
think at
same
that-
deadline. We
At
still
that
use
time, it would be just a simple reply, we received your request, and plan on having someone at town meeting to
Yeah.
speak at.
Yeah.
The only dilemma with that, town meeting, yes, the only downfall with that is that if you wanna recommend that they be there for the budget hearing, sometimes like this year, the deadline for the petition warrant articles was Tuesday, and we had our public hearing on Thursday, so.
The Thursday
It was
before,
close.
right?
It was the 3rd.
Oh, right. So I think it's always been recommended you go to the budget hearing, not necessarily required. I can make it required, but.
But at that point, I think the most important thing is to speak to the legislative body, which is town meeting.
Right, that's where I
And
would
that's-
say that's the requirement.
6 years ago, it was like 6 or 7 years ago, Tri-County Cap didn't show up, they didn't get their oil money for the town that year. Because nobody was there and it didn't pass,
Yeah.
because they weren't.
And
in
that was one of the
audience.
organizations I spoke to, and they said it was a complete, they forgot all about it.
Yeah,
Just don't buy that.
I don't buy that with Tri-County Cap.
Telling you what I'm told, but, so, okay, I just wanted to pass that by. Like I said, I didn't want to step too far outside of
I
maybe
don't
my
think that's
authority.
stepping outside of the
No,
box.
no, not at all.
And the last thing, Chad was gracious enough really quickly today to get me some numbers on town meeting, and I'll try to say it right, but if I mess it up, Chad will butt in and film himself correcting me.
I'm not filming myself.
That's what I'm gonna mess up on purpose now. The stats for town meeting, it shows out of the three, there were 3 platforms that you could live stream or after the fact view the recorded town meeting: YouTube, Facebook, and Vimeo. So 44 people live streamed town meeting on those 3 platforms combined. So far, as of today, 351 people played it on those 3 platforms combined, the recording of it. 39 on YouTube, Facebook had 141, and Vimeo, which is like the Roku channel or the Great Northwoods Television website channel, that was 171 views. So YouTube, those 39, average watch was 19 minutes. Facebook was average of 4 minutes, and Chad said that because, and those of you that might be familiar with YouTube, like Alan probably is, when you scroll through, if you stop like on a post, you might not be watching it, but if you're stopped for a few seconds, it'll start playing it, and so they might not even have been watching it, but they might have. Some might have been, some might not have, and then they kept scrolling on. So that's why that number is low. And then the Vimeo, the 171. Was average of 46 minutes. And town meeting was just shy of 2 hours for those of you that wanted to know that.
Those numbers are much better than what they were last year, though.
You said, Chad, last year, what was it? We had, I don't have the live stream. So
I don't recall the live stream numbers, but
the
numbers were a little bit higher because it was the first time we live streamed and there was still quarantine stuff in effect. So
I want to say you had said when we talked before the meeting, you said that it was like 60 or 80 live streamed last year.
Yeah, and I think that was pretty close to what we had live on one of the channels, but as I was sitting here recalling, I do believe it was higher in aggregate across all the platforms.
Gotcha.
But the interesting note that was on there that Ben can tell you about.
Yeah, so the 30 days, basically February 21st of this year to March 21st of this year, there were 487 views on Vimeo
Of
last year's town meeting, of the recording of last year's town meeting. So it's almost like some of them were probably trying to catch up on last season before they watched this season. Right?
You're right.
Yeah.
Binge watch.
That's what my daughter is saying, that people are gonna start binge watching this. So, it's, the live stream might not have been as great as we thought, but I mean, the viewed it since, which has only been about almost 2 weeks, 350. So, just thought you guys might be interested in seeing that. I think that is all I've got.
That's it. Anything that the board has?
No, I'll make a motion.
Well, that will be coming.
We covered it with the fountain. That was something that I wanted to bring up tonight.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
Sounds like that's being well handled.
Yeah,
already.
and I give a lot of kudos to both Chief Charbonneau, Chief Flynn, Tim Brown, the highway foreman, and Tim Billadew, water sewer superintendent, were out last night for that event because, you know, it took a lot of resources to secure the scene, make sure there weren't any other hazards, make sure there wasn't a major water leak, and it was a great team effort, and those guys did a great job. The fire and EMS departments as well responded very quickly.
Okay, good. Anything from the public? Yes, Mr. Christie.
Well, I just want to say that Mount Prospect Road and Wesson Road are terrible. They're in terrible shape. But if it wasn't for all the hard work that our highway department did today, I wouldn't have even been able to get here. So I appreciate that.
Thank you. I'll let them know.
Thank you to the highway department.
I will let them know. They'll appreciate that.
Okay.
Tim Brown did say that side of town had some rough spots, but it's nothing compared.
You could fall in a hole with Teresa Berries and never come out.
Yeah, it's nothing compared to some of the neighboring towns and their roads where there's
Seen
ruts of
some
good
horror stories.
18
I've seen some
inches
pictures
thick.
online,
Yeah. So, no, but thank you, Rob. I'll be certain to let them know.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank them.
All right.
So what are you gonna do with your planning board? You gonna wait till you get some letters of interest before you appoint that one?
That's-
You skipped over that, John.
No, I
No,
didn't.
he addressed
I said that there's an ad in the paper for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So you're gonna wait until you get some response?
Well, you gotta get a response before you can, you can't appoint people that don't say they wanna be appointed now.
No, what I'm saying is you didn't reappoint anybody that's up,
Right,
okay?
Right.
You're gonna do that.
yes, yeah, that'll be the next meeting. Hopefully they'll do it all in one meeting. They'll appoint those whose terms have expired,
Yeah.
that wish to be reappointed, and hopefully some new ones. There is one person that has expressed interest already, but that there's still a couple of vacancies.
Right. I'm interested in seeing the board, fill everything, because
Yep.
coming into this last year, the tail end of this last year was very poor board membership, because people quit and died and moved away, and you're down to, and Leon didn't wanna reappoint anybody at a late date, so you're down to a better, start out full, is my opinion on it.
I will say that I put probably in the last 6 months ads, at least 2 ads in the paper for the planning board, and I've gotten nobody.
What paper are you using? Are you using?
I've done a combination of Caledonian Democrat, and I don't know which one, if I did both of them both times, or if I did, I can't remember exactly, but I've used the Caledonian. This ad I put in this time, it was the Democrat. And I'm gonna post it on our webpage as well, and Facebook page. I haven't done that yet.
Well, I think it's important that you, like I say, you get a full board. to
Oh, no
start
doubt.
out with, at least.
No doubt.
And I think it's also important that you weed out people that didn't show. You might wanna have some attendance records when you make
That,
decisions.
well, to your point, on Robin has gotten those together and she brings those to either the zoning board or the planning board, so they're aware of, if somebody's seeking reappointment, then they know, the board members know what the attendance record is. And then, it's part of the select board's packets as well.
Should be looked at.
Yeah, I agree.
No sense in appointing people that don't show.
The boards, both of, any of those boards have the right to request the select board remove somebody from that board, not just the planning board.
Yes,
Planning board's,
yes, I understand that, it's a rule of the board.
right.
They're very concrete and very concise as to how many meetings you can miss before you're dismissed.
Right.
But I've never seen anybody do it either.
I remember that when I first started, there was a board that somebody never showed up, and I kept asking them what you want to do, and they didn't want to do anything. So it has to be a request from that board to go to the select board, and it has to be a public hearing by the select board to remove it.
I can remember a time when we had plenty of people interested in the boards that we did refuse to reappoint people. So, problem is, we haven't had that kind of response here in quite a few years. I'm hopeful that we'll get a good response. So, and we definitely want a full board to start the year.
You've got to back your boards too. You can't not back boards and expect people who don't volunteer to be on them.
Anything else? No? Can I get somebody to make a motion to,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
all in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. We're adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.